Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. It is me, Dukect, here live on TalkShoe.com. How are you doing, people? Hopefully you're having a great Thursday evening. It's a bit wet here, a little bit of a soggy nature today. But you know what? It is good. We are here, and we are going to be in a more of a positive type of thing here, ladies and gentlemen. Something really good is happening this evening because the show is now the show is here. The show is here. The Dukect Lounge is here, and hopefully you are going to be enjoying the show. Remember, if you want to join in the Insanity, the live show, remember the phone number is 724-444-7444. What's good? The number is 724-444-7444, and the call ID to connect me, Dukect, is 92417. Once again, the call ID is 92417. And if you download the TalkShoe app 2.0, you can actually use the shoe phone to connect to me as well. And you can just talk right there. Bada bing, bada boom, there you go. And if you can't have a talk, don't worry, the chat room is always on lock. We can have a nice conversation during the chat room, all right? Okay, now that being said, let's get into the main show and let's talk about something. Oh boy, it's going to be very interesting here, huh? Very, very interesting, as we are going to talk about, oh boy, yeah, Enzo Amore, a.k.a. Eric Arndt. If you haven't heard the story, January 22nd this year, Eric Arndt was alleged to have a alleged sexual assault of a young woman. And man, and I had to listen to the post, and I said this as then, and I hopefully it comes up clear. If he was guilty or innocent, because there's some stuff like that. I was like a little worried about the woman's testimony and such, but I don't know. I don't know. I didn't know, and I said if he's guilty, he's guilty. And quite honestly, he was. I mean, it seems to me like he didn't tell anyone. I'm like, dude, you couldn't tell anybody. You couldn't tell anyone. Like, Enzo's still a complete dumbass, not telling anyone. But it came out recently, a couple of days ago, that Enzo Amore, his attorney, it basically says right here, this dispute right here, and I'll put here on the link in the description, but also the you see in the video as well of his his lawyer, Tom Cardigill, his public attorney, released a statement on his Twitter. And by the way, before that, for all the incidences, Enzo Amore didn't speak or did anything at all. No, seriously. He did not talk. He did not do anything. I don't know about the DMs or anything, but he was quiet. He didn't say anything for the past months. He was quiet. And that was pretty much it. And wow, I was like, yeah, he's really quiet here. I don't know what's going on. They let the wrestling world, they were angry at him, but they just started to pass it by. And then a couple of days, a couple months later, 7 months later, this thing comes up, and here's the statement from his lawyer. It says says right here, on January 22nd, 2018, Eric Arndt, also known as Enzo Amore for the World Wrestling Entertainment, was accused via the internet and social media of misconduct during an alleged incident in Phoenix, Arizona, several months earlier. Prior to that date, no law enforcement or any officials had contacted Mr. Arndt regarding such claims. However, after a careless, unfounded tirade on social media, Mr. Arndt learned of these accusations, which his counsel reached out to Phoenix police. So basically, yeah, he did not know until all this stuff happened on the day, when Raw 25 came out. So yeah, this right here, well, if that's the case, then a lot of the stuff here is just, it just, there's a lot of, it looked like he was not there. A lot of people were just like, she was surprised as everyone else. But a lot of people will say also, during that incident, he was, getting high with illegal drugs and such, if that is the case or not. I'm like, The dude would look like he was legitimately one of those guys in wrestling who was living a gimmick. And Enzo Amore was this loud talking asshole, pretty much just saying I could do whatever I want and all this high flying doing, basically acting like he's like Ric Flair, but not with much of the, trying to be like Ric Flair. But in this day and age, you're not going to last long with this. And hopefully, like I believe that he can get his life together. Hopefully he can actually get his stuff together after this. But anyway, it continues that it says, subsequently is evidenced by the vast amounts of online admissions and other publicly available information. It was soon clear that the accuser exhibited a complete lack of truth or credibility. At all times, Mr. Arndt fully and clearly denied such accusations and remained confident in clearing his name. The Phoenix Police Department recently informed Mr. Arndt and his counsel that there is insufficient evidence in this matter to warrant any criminal charges, that the matter will not be transferred to the county attorney general for prosecutions, and that their investigation in case is closed. No charges were ever filed. The matter is closed. Mr. Arndt expresses his gratitude for the enormous amount of support from his fans and followers during this time period. The support has carried him throughout these events and opened his eyes to the faith and loyalty to those who have cheered and followed his career. This experience has further taught Mr. Arndt to be cautious with his personal associations, because false, defamatory, and unfair accusations can alter and impact the lives and careers of the falsely accused and their families. Mr. Arndt is working diligently towards his next venture in the entertainment industry and looks forward to reconnecting with his fans in a big way in a very near future. And that's pretty much what the statement is. And it looks like, what is this going to mean? And when you look back here, is that they couldn't find any evidence to prove that those sexual assault claims happened and such. And the question now, Silva says, what happens now? What is Enzo going to do? What is Enzo going to? Is he going to is he going to go back to WWE? Would they hire him? Is he going to Impact? What is he going to do? But a lot of people don't look and say that the victim and everything else. The victim who had some previous issues before talking about this and this subject, and it seems like everyone around her about this whole thing, about this whole entire situation, seemed that they were talking in a very they did not believe they don't believe, like, the victim's friends pretty much didn't believe her. And then they said this stuff happened all the time. The victim had a YouTube channel. She talked about faking a pregnancy to get back at this ex-boyfriend. A lot of stuff like that. And again, I don't want to defame. I don't want to be like, oh, you're defaming, saying, oh, victims. No. If sexual assault happens to you or anyone else, you're close to, you go to the police and you go and report to police and do and make sure the person who has done that horrible crime to you, make sure that person goes to gets locked up. That's what I'm trying to spit out here, because this is a serious subject and I can't get any wriggle room here and make fun and jokes and lie about this. I'm not that clever, and B, I'm a small YouTuber, and trust me, I don't want to get destroyed or anything else. But yeah, again, I want to say this, and I want to continue to say this. All this stuff is, if you're in any type of situation, like situation where you are getting, abuse or anything else, find someone, talk to police and get there quickly. Speak out, and everything else, because that is that's paramount. You have to tell people who make sure that the people who are in this who are in sexual assault and everything, you tell people right now. That's what it is. Anyway, I just hope the victim hopefully gets the help that she needs. Hopefully she's not, because she seems that she has a lot of issues, and hopefully she can get the help that she needs, and hopefully hopefully it wasn't with malice or something like that, because that stuff happened and it sucks. But yeah, and some people worry when you hear this, and this stuff is, oh my gosh, it's going to dissuade victims from coming forward and stuff. I hope that's not the case, because honestly, in this era of Me Too, Time's Up, and all this type of stuff, I hope that there are more people that can step up and find these people. No, not just find people, but also put these people in jail and all this stuff. So again, if I'm sounding, because I don't want to sound overly mean or overly personal to the victim or anything else, because again, this victim, and I'm not giving her name out, by the way, so I don't want to put her stuff out there, and Lord knows it's been dragged through the mud and everything else. So it's best if you that hopefully she can get the help that she needs, and hopefully that that whole party scene that Enzo and all that stuff was about, not just Enzo, but she as well, the drugs and everything else. I hope they both get better and such, get their minds right, and that sort of thing. That's what I hope it is and such. We just move on from this, and hopefully when you look at that and Enzo and everything else, and that's what I feel. So yeah, that's how I feel about this situation. I know I'll probably piss people off or anything. I'm not going too hard on Enzo or anything else. Oh, I'll go hard on him and such, saying he's an idiot. He's a complete, acting like he's like, oh, I'm big and bad, thinking that he can't be replaced. Well, too late. You can replace. And hopefully that this whole situation, this whole insanity, this whole stuff that basically gets his mind right and says, I need to stop being an asshole and everything. And not do drugs or put myself in these situations that lead me to that road to assaulting women and such, that sort of thing. And also, as for his career, I don't know. I don't know what his career is going to be. I don't know what it's going to do. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But yeah, my hope is that he's not going to go to WWE anytime soon, because again, these accusations are still fresh in people's minds, and I don't know what you're going to tell him. The 205 Live, but that show was already dead before. People said, "Oh, he made Enzo made the show great." I'm like, yeah, from like, not Enzo still made that show great, but it became the Enzo show. It got too much heat, and I'm like, man, I just don't care. But I mean, Enzo was funner after a while, but at the same time, you just like, you know what? Can we just not do this anymore? Can we just not do all this stuff anymore? Please, just not do this. This heel stuff over and over and over again. I'm getting really sick and tired of this. Like I said, it's like we have to become it's the long standing heels and such. Just keep getting heat to the point you're like, I'm tired of it. The act just gets boring and boring and more boring. That's what's the problem with going back to the point of Neville. It just kept going on and on and on to the point you're just like saying, finally, someone end it. And that's the problem. That's WWE's problem. It's just the heels continue to run long to the point of just, it just, they just continues this whole NWA strategy that the heel is the most, the face is supposed to chase while the heel continues to dominate to the point of just like, it just brings up lack of interest and apathy. And by the time they do anything, bam, people are just exhausted and no one cares anymore. And 205 Live has gotten somewhat better, but they've left out the characters when Enzo pretty much went away. So I don't know what they're going to do with this whole situation. If Enzo wants to go back to WWE, I don't know. I think he better go to rehab straight up. I mean, they do offer that program, so if he does, keeps his minds and cues or something, maybe he'll go back with Kaz, Hell, I honestly think he should be a manager. I think should just be Kaz's manager and just leave the wrestling part alone. Doesn't mean him being the manager of Kaz and such, that sort of thing, and build up that way. I think most people won't be mad at that, I think. And then, you have TNA, you had Don Callis coming to a meet, you're doing a telemarketing meeting, talking about what Enzo and everything. He says, you never know, never say never, that, they might actually bring in Enzo Amore or Eric Arnett to Impact Wrestling, which is just, no, man. Man. Impact to me is just a zombie organization that just wants, I don't know. There are some good stuff happening. I heard Redemption was a decent pay-per-view, but I'm like, why should I try to care about Impact? It's just there's nothing really left into it. And besides, you got these long tapings and long stuff that at the end of, tapings that are so long that when people leave, they have to stop reshoot footage or something like that. It's stuff like that, ladies and gentlemen. Stuff like that. So what is the thing with Enzo? I don't know. I don't know what the WWE is going to do with Enzo Amore. I don't know what they're going to. I have no idea what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do with Enzo because, if they want to bring him back, like I said, rehab is probably the best way for someone like Enzo to return. And until that stuff goes down, until that stuff happens, we're just pretty much stuck with this situation for a good long while. Enzo's just gonna be stuck, or he's just going to his rap career. But by this time, he's just so cold right now. I don't know, man. Maybe he can do something. I don't know, but all I hope is that he'll get his mind right and try to become not a crappier person. You know what I'm saying? That's the hope. Anyway, that was not so terrible. Hopefully, that wasn't too much of a terrible mangling of this, the thing in my opinions and such. Anyway, we're going to take a small break here. We're going to listen to some more Osa remix. I know you love that, ladies and gentlemen. Let's listen to some... Okay, let's see. Speeding Towards Adventure, 25 Years of Sonic. How about Underwater Jog with Bowler Hat featuring Audio Fidelity here live on the Dukect Lounge? And next up afterwards, we're going to talk about the Super Indie Show All In, the sellout. And, well, I'm going to say this. Is it really a sellout? I don't know, but I'm going to ask the question anyway. We'll be right back right to this. This is Dukect Lounge live on TalkShoe.com. Back live, ladies and gentlemen, here on TalkShoe.com. Thank you so much for joining me. And remember, if you're not hearing this, not hearing this live, how dare you? Remember, you can hear this on the YouTube.com/DukecT. Also, you can hear this on ButchShoot.com, ManExpression.com, and on Freaking Awesome Network. So yeah. We're going to be here, and also have the Caps game in the background. Let's see if the Washington Capitals can close or not. They're tied up, so, I'm betting they, I don't know. Well, anyway, let's get this thing started here about, let's see, this huge super indie known as All In. Ladies and gentlemen, well, they've been talking about this thing for, now the Caps just call penalty or whatever. But anyway, it has been a long time talking about this subject. And we get from Deadspin saying that the All-In anti-WWE Super Show here, and we don't even have a card, ladies and gentlemen. They only have a championship match, but I don't know what's going to be. It's going to be we'll be getting Cody Rhodes, formerly WWE, will be fighting against the NWA champion and Nick Aldis. If you don't know who Nick Aldis is, it's Magnus from TNA. So yes, you are going to have this NWA title match, which is, by the way, from pretty much Billy Corgan's bought of NWA and such. So anyway, they're talking about this, having a tweet out talking about this same thing. Say, oh my gosh, we're talking about this. It's this huge show. This huge show that's gonna have talking about this subject and pretty much getting into this this huge show that's gonna be the Indy Super Show. We don't even know what's on the card. I don't know who's gonna be wrestling here, but it's for the first time since 1999, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time a 10,000 plus show has sold out. Yes, ladies and gentlemen. It has sold out. And with no real matches except Cody taking on Nick Aldis. 10,000, and I sit here and I'm looking at this they are going to, supposedly they have Rey Mysterio is going to be on the card, doing what exactly, I don't know, since he's injured, but yeah, he is going to be back 100% soon, but yet, but we don't know what's going to, who's going to get in the show. We don't know who is going to be on the show. We have Flip Gordon trying to get in the show, get in All In. All these other people are trying to get in All In. We don't know who's going to be on the show at this point. And yet it just seems to be all this stuff to 10,000 tickets and something. This huge indie show be promoted by, it seems like it promoted on its own, like, and it seems to be too good to be true. And you know the old saying, if something's too good to be true, it usually is. After the power play, ladies and gentlemen, Tampa Bay just scored. Vintage Capitals. This game's pretty much over. Yeah. But anyway, well, looks like the Tampa Bay is going to be all in, going to the Stanley Cup Finals. But going to Stanley Cup Finals anyway. So yeah, they are the presidents for All In. But yeah, they talked about this. But my thing is this. 10,000 tickets sold out. I'm getting a little iffy about that. With basically Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis, two guys who I think they're pretty talented wrestling-wise, but I don't think they're heavy draws. I don't think there really are people who will bring a 10,000 seat arena though. Is that much of is the Indy fan base that big? I honestly don't know. If it is, that's awesome, but I'm just a little curious. Because, again, I just came off of, say, for example, talking about FanCon for the past couple of weeks and how they've been, talking how big this is. I mean, it just seems that there's a lot of stuff going on here. And it's just, I wouldn't be surprised that there's some stuff that they say is 10,000 or maybe it's a lot of vouchers. I don't know. But it just seems it's a little too good to be true. You understand what I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen? You understand what I'm saying, hopefully. But, yeah, it just seems to be what it's going to be. Is it going to be a Ring of Honor show? Is it going to be a Raw Experience show and a New Japan Pro Wrestling show? And even though you have Ring of Honor hit the all-time record attendance, about 6,000 for their WrestleMania weekend show this year in New Orleans, it said in the article. But let's be honest, the shows, for the most part, without WrestleMania, their shows usually get up to 2,000, 1,800 to 2,000. But yeah, it's just, I mean, Ring of Honor is growing in this pace, but they don't really seem to be like having 10,000 seat arenas. If it was a 5,000 or 3,000 seat arena, I'm like, something like that. Well, okay, that's actually interesting. But this here, it tends to be sold out to 10,000 seat arena based on Cody Rhodes, New Pro Wrestling talent, the Elite, or anything else. What? I sit here and I'm like, Cody Rhodes is not that big of a draw. Again, it comes right back to it. I don't know. I don't have any evidence to prove this because it seems to be, it's just, that's going to be, I wonder if this is going to be something big or not. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. But yeah, sometimes you just look at it and you're like, I would not be surprised if it's something, scalpers or something like that. I don't know. I want to think this would be nice. It's something, a huge bit of competitive for WWE. I want this to be a huge bit of something against WWE. I think this would be a very good thing if All In our stuff were more successful. That brings more competition. More people can realize, hey, we don't need to be WWE to be to make money, and any people don't need to flood the WWE to basically trying to make everyone happy that no one's gonna be happy because you have to be in WWE to be good. I'm like, no, you don't need to be WWE to actually have success because the WWE has too many stars right now. It's too bloated, ladies and gentlemen. WWE is too damn bloated. And with all this other indie stuff right now, I honestly think the best thing to do, this WWE should do, is not hire any more indie talent for like a couple of years. Because again, it's too overbloated. And if this is the case, that maybe they can say, you know what, I don't need WWE. I don't need to be in the WWE. I have this. We have all these other shows. This could be something really good. This could be something very good that people can stay in there, like, stay in their shows and stuff and build up their own wrestling leagues, build up their own type of stuff to be competitors. And say, you know what? Ring of Honor is not just going to be a feeder system to WWE. We actually are going to be competitive, damn it. We're not going to sit back and say, no, we're going to we're actually going to make a run for it. They actually had the balls to say, we're going to make a run for this to be a WWE, a good something like what TNA should have been. A nice, healthy number 2, the WWE's big, bloated carcass of a number 1 company. But then, that's just my personal ramblings of it. Like I said, I always hope this is work out, but the whole era of FanCon just came out, that sort of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if it looks like there are a lot of vouchers and a lot of people who just, are not going to go to the show or just going to sell them out to the highest bidder. And from 10,000 people showing up, it's going to be like 5,000 or maybe 4,000, which would be great for indie wrestling, but overall, a highly big disappointment. I don't want to be right with this thing. I want this to be a big show, an important show, but I wouldn't be surprised if this was just, some smoke coming out of, most wrestling, Cody Rhodes' ass or something like that. Wouldn't be surprised. Because, it just seems like it's just too good to be true. Like I say, I keep repeating it. When things say they're too good to be true, they usually are. Anyway, that's it for the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's another downer. I need to get some positive stuff out there, and I will try to do some next week. Anyway, this is me, Dukect. Peace and love. I will see y'all when I see y'all later.